All right, I'll start over from the very beginning. Like I said, my name is Jessica Hale with the customer success team over here at FreightWaves. We also have Christine Famero on the Zoom as well. She's going to be monitoring your Q&As. I'm here to make sure that you guys understand how to tap in the power of Sonar. The Sonar 101 webinar is designed to show you guys how to navigate and use the tools and functionality all within the Sonar platform. At the end, we will have a live Q&A at the end of the session. So please feel free to input any questions you have into the Q&A tool on this webinar, and we'll be sure to get to them at the end of the demonstration. If you would like a deeper dive into understanding the power of the Sonar data sets, we'll be happy to set up either a dedicated session with you and your users at your company. Please email sonarsupport@freightwaves.com, or you can log into the webinar tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern Time for Sonar 201. And on Thursday at 11 a.m., we have the 301 in-depth market experts Sonar webinar as well. When you very first log into the Sonar platform, you will be directed to Global Pages. Global Pages is all updated by FreightWaves employees. You cannot change, manipulate, edit those pages at all. These are specifically only updated by FreightWaves employees, whether it's around a specific data set, new data sets that have came out, or something going on in the market that we want you guys to know about. Right now, as you guys know, Hurricane Dorian is coming up the coast of Florida. As you can see, we have a couple pages on the global pages right up here on the top left-hand corner dedicated to that. You can view the videos, traffic and road conditions, our critical events center, and you can also view some of our freight markets that will be affected by the hurricane. We have created a way, though, to send the global pages down into your My Pages. This is for when you do that, it copies the exact page so you can change, edit it in any sort of way. All you have to do is click Edit Pages in the bottom left-hand corner. Click on the page that you want to copy down to your My Pages. And then the share function or copy function is down in the bottom left-hand corner. When you do copy that, it will automatically bring that page down in your My Pages for you to change it, change or edit it any way that you wish. The My Pages are a perfect way for you to stay organized in the platform. Building pages around specific markets, specific data sets that matter to your specific business. It's very easy to build a My Page. You click Edit Pages in the bottom left-hand corner, and a blue plus sign that says Add Page will pop up. When you do click on that, it will prompt you to name the page that you are creating. It's, like I said, important to stay organized in the platform, especially if you're operating in multiple different markets. You can name it around a specific market or a specific data set that you are looking at. I am just going to name it 101, and I'm going to click Add. When I click Add, this will take me to a plain gray screen for you to add as many widgets on the page as you wish to create a dashboard for you to view whatever market that you're looking at. Before I get into actually building a page, I want to talk about a couple of the functions we have in the top right-hand corner. The double bubble in the top right is our moderated chat function. This is here for you guys to really conversate about what's going on in the market or in the platform. If you have questions about a data set, if you have questions on what the data set means or how it affects the industry, or just asking about specific markets in general. If you're struggling in an area or seeing a very strong market, talking on here brings the community together. So as you can see, we have Donnie Gilbert here. He is one of our brokerage market experts. He comments on here and will talk to you about the questions that you have. We also have all of our FreightWaves employees on here, so any one of us can come on here and talk with you guys. As you can see, we have some numbers on here, and these are Sonar users that wish to be anonymous. So it could be somebody in your own organization or somebody in another company commenting on here that you can conversate with. The next one is our Sonar Sue. And this is whenever we have an announcement, we post it on here for you guys to be able to view whether it's new data sets, whether something is changing in the platform. All of it will be added here and pop up when you log in. This is a great way to stay up to date of all the new data sets that we add, the functions that we add to the platform, anything at all. It saves down here at the bottom so you can go and click through everything that's been added. The next one is our light bulb, and that is our market insight and research function. This houses our daily watch, deep dives, market insights, as well as our research papers. This is a great way to get a lot of information about the industry. I know a lot of you guys receive these via email, but they are saved in here in Sonar for you to be able to view, download, print as well. I do want to talk about our research papers a little bit. We have a whole team dedicated to bringing this research papers and around specific topics that you can't get anywhere else. They're anywhere between 20 to about 60 pages of in-depth about a specific topic. You can click on the preview button, download it, read it on your on your computer, on your iPad, anything like that. It's really good stuff and really beneficial for you guys. The next one is My Sonar Tools. We have My Custom Indices and My Map Layers. My Custom Indices is a way that you can upload your own tender data into the platform and bounce it up against ours to see where where it compares in the market, whether your rejection percentage or your volumes shipping at a specific market. You can view that by uploading your own data. My Map Layers, this is where you can upload customer locations into the platform and see where exactly they lie within a market. You can also overlay data sets on top of that to see what customers would be affected by either a surge of volume or rejections, anything like that. You can do that as well. I'll talk a little bit more in depth about that when I get into the map widget. The next one is the question mark, and this houses the Knowledge Center. The Knowledge Center is a great way to learn about all the data sets in Sonar. We have a getting started, which is very simple, navigation, how to build a page, etc. Indices by Sonar category. This is all of the data sets underneath those specific categories. They're broken out the exact same way in Sonar, so it makes it really easy for you to reference what you're looking for. For example, if you wanted to know a little bit more about the head haul index, you can click on that and you can view, what is it, what does it mean, and all of that type of stuff right into the Knowledge Center. If you have additional questions, you can always reach out in chat, or you can reach out to your customer success manager to get more information on that as well. I'm going to jump back down to this 101 page that we created. And I forgot to mention this earlier. We can also share pages that you create. So if you have a couple power users in your company using this platform or wanting to become those power users, creating an awesome dashboard, say around the Atlanta market or around the hurricane, anything like that that you want to share with other Sonar users, you can do that. It's very simple. You just click on this little arrow over here to the left of the page that you want to share, and a copy share link pops up. When you copy that link and send it out to other Sonar users, if they click on that, it will automatically save to their My Pages. So it's something that they don't have to build. They don't really have to do anything except understand what they're looking at on that specific page. So I created this 101 page by going down to Edit Pages, click on the blue plus sign that says Add Page, and naming that page 101. And it brought me to this plain gray screen. To add widgets, you go up to the right-hand corner with the blue plus sign. And these are all the widgets that we have to offer. We have the news widgets, calendar, chart, watch lists, map widget, video library, and our most volatile market widget. I'm going to start with the top and kind of go down the list and talk about all of our different widgets that we have to offer. So in our news widget right here, I'm going to start with our RSS news feeds. This is a great way to stay up to date with things going on in the industry. You can select the specific categories that you want to view, or you can select all. You can also select the scrolling mode. When you select the scrolling mode, it will scroll across your page, so you can see all the different articles to view without having to scroll all the way down through them. I'm going to select all categories and I'm going to click Save. And as you can see, all of the different articles that publish and is scrolling across the screen for you to view. You can click on any of them and it will take you directly to that article. The next one is the social media flash content. I'm going to click on that. And this is all of the social media feeds. We have about 35,000 Twitter handles that we have hand selected. If you click over here on the left-hand side, you can see the blue arrow. This shows you all of the subjects that you have to choose from and all of the Twitter feeds as well that you can click through on one specifically that you want or don't want. If you type in right here as well, and click enter, this will bring up the flash content directed to that specific keyword that you typed in. And if, like I said, if you click on any specific header, it will open that link. And this one's from Bloomberg, and it gives you a link to that specific article. I'm going to go back up to this blue plus sign, and I'm going to go to the calendar widget. You can view all of U.S. holidays, FreightWaves news on here as well. So if you click on all the displays and click Save, it will bring up a calendar with all of our FreightWaves news articles as well as holidays that you can view on each specific day. So I'm just going to hop back here to August, and you can see all the reports that, or I'm sorry, are the articles that have came out for each specific day. I'm going to go back up to the blue plus sign, and I'm going to now talk about, I'm going to now go down to maps. I'm going to start with the maps first. They're a little bit easier to get into, so I'm going to start with the maps. We have them all broken out by our 135 markets. There are 3-digit zip codes, and it is a blank map as of right now. Over here on the left-hand side are all 7 tabs that you can view. You click on the blue arrow. This will pop out the pane for you to kind of click through the different tabs that you can change the map with. The first one is the date. You can click on the date and look at historical dates in the past. So you can click on any date that you wish, and it will populate the data available for that specific day. The second tab is our map layer tab. You can turn the satellite view on and off underneath this specific tab. And you can also see the different customer locations that you have uploaded. For example, the pilot and Flying J locations are on here. You can click on them, zoom into a specific market, and see all of the locations and exactly where that they are by address. So if you click on that, you can see the address for this pilot travel center. You can upload your customer locations. If you are doing a RFP, you can upload the customer locations on here to see where they lie within a specific market. You can also add data sets to this as well. So I'm just going to skip down. I'll go over this a little bit more in depth in a second, but I'm going to come into our freight data tab and turn on our core pleth settings and look at outbound tender reject index real quick. So you can see the markets that are darker blue. This means a higher percent of rejection. We're going to get into the data for during the 201 tomorrow, but I just wanted to show you how you can use your customer locations specific to by data sets. You can overlay any data set that you wish and see where those customers lying within the market and whatever data set you're looking for. So as you can see, we have about 4 lying in this Little Rock market right now. I had about a 20% tender rejection rate. So you can pick those specific customers, whether it's volume or rejections, and reach out to them to possibly get more freight or anything like that. To upload the customer locations, it's very simple. You just click on this blue pencil, and it's a very easy CSV file with the location name, address, zip code. Very easy to do. The next one I'm going to talk about is the freight data tab, which is what I kind of went through really fast. So we have all these different granularity levels: US markets, Canadian markets, PAD markets, states, and regions that you can view the data in. The US markets is the most granular, so this is the one that it's defaulted to and the one that I choose to use the most. To look at the data, you have to turn on your core pleth settings, and you can scroll through and look at all the data that is available to you. For example, this is the head haul index. I already showed you the outbound tender rejection index. So you can see it has the legend on the bottom to show you what it is. So in this case, the darker the blue means there is more outbound volume in a market than inbound volume, and the darker the red is the opposite, the more inbound volume to the market compared to outbound volume. If you have any specific questions about that, we can answer them, or you can email sonarsupport@freightwaves.com. Or like I said, we are doing the 201 webinar all about data tomorrow. The next tab is the Sonar Analytics tab. This is also connected to our most volatile market widget, which I will go over a little bit more in depth when I get to that widget. But it's very similar to the freight data. You turn on the market volatility, and it will show you our 4 indices that you can view in the analytic tab. So we have outbound volume, outbound rejection, head haul, and tender lead time volatility. So you can click on any of these, and it will show you markets that have volatility in them. The green is an increase, and the red is a decrease based off of rolling 365 days. So anything that has the high highs and the low lows, the volatility map captures that. The next thing is our rail data. We have all of the rail lines added onto the map that you can view. You can zoom into a market. You can also overlay data onto this as well, like volumes or rejections, to see, the rail heads versus the volumes, etc. You can do that as well. You can also take off any ones that you want, so you can only look at what matters to your business. The next one is our weather and traffic layer settings. We have actual road conditions. So you can see the weather conditions right here on the road. So you have anywhere from dry all the way to possible closure. And this will show you 48 hours in advance. So if you zoom into a market, you can see we got some down here in Florida, all blue, a lot of wet. In the top right-hand corner, you can play this, and this will go 48 hours in the future. So after a storm passes, obviously the roads either stay still wet or icy. anything like that, and that's what this is used for. We also have the traffic conditions, which is really cool. You can zoom in. So if I zoom into Orlando down here, you can see the greens are low congestion and the red is severe congestion. And we also have 20,000 DOT road cameras. They are updated every 10 minutes. So if the government has updated it on their end, then we receive that update on ours. Oops. Okay. Just want you. Okay. So we are struggling with this. Here we go. So you can see a pretty good view of the camera here. This is really good information. I always went around looking up DOT road cameras to see congestions or possible closures, and I think this is a really good tool to view that as well as the actual road traffic conditions. The next thing we have on here that I will go over real quick is you can view location forecasts. So I'm going to turn on the location forecast right here. And as you can see, Orlando is right here. But say you are in way up here and you want to know the location forecast for that specific location, you can click on that and it will tell you what the city and state is based off longitude and latitude. And you can see the road conditions for that specific location as well as road and air temps. You can also click these 3 buttons over here and view a lot of other different data points as well. You can also click anywhere on the map and view their freight data. So for the Jacksonville market, which is this huge market up here, this is all of the freight data specific to that market. So you have the head haul index, the detention time, wait time in minutes, diesel truck stop, actual price. All of this is relative to that specific market. So you can view it in a table very similar to this list view. The last thing I'm going to talk about in the map widget is our Critical Events Center. This is a great tool to know what's going on weather-wise or weather threats in the market, not only in the United States, but all over the world. You can see we have all these different threats over here. We have cyclones, earthquakes, wildfires, severe weather watches and warnings, a lot of different things to look at. We also have different overlays that you can view. You can view the radar in the United States only. We have day and night, which is really cool. Precipitation. As you can see, Dorian right here, the really, really dark purple, all that rain. And we also have snowfall. All of these things you can view as overlays. We also have down in the bottom, we have the assets. So all of these green circles on this map are asset groups. Airports, canals, ports, railroads, and refineries. You can zoom into any market and it will populate more assets. So when you have a really red asset right here, as you can see, that is a high risk. Green is a low risk. If anything happened to any of these asset groups, obviously that would affect the transportation industry. So that's why this is so important combined with all of our weather threats. You can zoom in. You can click on any one of these. So this is the Port of Jacksonville. The threat is possible cyclone, max risk of 21. We go all the way up to 25. So that is a pretty high risk threat. It tells you how many days are remaining and what the current conditions are. There's a lot of information that you can view in here. If you have any questions when you're playing around with it, please feel free to let us know. The one thing I am going to talk about just for a little bit is Hurricane Dorian. I want to show you how powerful this tool is to track hurricanes. So you can click right here on Hurricane Dorian, and it will bring up all of the information, all the assets that it could potentially affect. Forecasted models. This is really interesting. So a lot of these are obviously going in the same way now, but when it was way out here, it was going in all different ways. This gives you visibility all within sonar of where hurricanes are going. And as you know, hurricanes disrupt the freight industry. A lot of people, moving out of their homes, all while also, disaster relief is trying to help out as well. You can view a lot of information in here by clicking on this, and it will give you all the latest advisory of the hurricane. See, we've dropped down to category 2. Like I said, if you guys are playing around with Critical Event Center and you have questions, please feel free to reach out or drop questions in there and we'll get them answered at the end of this webinar. The next one I am going to go into is the chart. You go up to the blue plus sign again and click on chart. This is, when you click on it, it will bring up a blank chart for you to add whatever data set that you wish to view. Over in the top left, you have an enter symbol button, and these are all of your categories that you have to choose from. You can click on any one of these, and it will give drop downs of indices related to that category. Trucking supply and demand, this will house all of your tender rejection data, van reefer tender rejections, length of haul tender rejections. All of that will be added under trucking supply and demand. If you want to know volumes, all of that will be added under your market volume insights category. There's a lot of information in here. I encourage you to look at the Knowledge Center, read about it, see what matters to you. But those tender data that you hear everybody talking about, the volumes and rejections, lie under those 2 categories. Just going to pull one up here. Over on the right-hand side, you have a couple different things that you can play around with. The display button, we have the absolute axis, which gives you the absolute number. Relative will show you the percent change over the time period that you're looking at. The dual axis is for when you are comparing other data sets. So for example, if I wanted to click on here and I wanted to compare outbound tender volume to Allentown versus outbound tender rejection index for Allentown, I can do that by clicking that compare button, and the exact same category drop down will come up, and I bring up outbound tender rejections for Allentown. As you can see, this chart doesn't look very good. That's because one is measured in a percent and one is an index. So I need to go up to display and turn on the dual y-axis. So anytime you are comparing something different than what your main search is, please make sure you use the dual y-axis. I'm going to X out of this real quick. The next one under display, you can see our seasonality. This is a great tool to compare previous years. So I'm going to click on the seasonality function, click on 1 year, and you can see outbound tender volumes for Allentown last year versus outbound tender volumes this year in Allentown. So you can see how they compare year over year. This is called seasonality mode. You can also view chart styles differently. So what you're currently looking at is mountain. You can also view line. You can view the baseline view. And we also have candles and bar charts that you can view on here as well. Down here in the very bottom, you can change the time zone here, but you also have themes that you can view. So you can click on new theme and change the colors of your line and bar chart, your mountain, background, grid lines, all of that. You can change that here and click save, and this will be your custom theme that you create. The next one is our current studies that we have in SONAR. We have moving averages, standard deviations, RSI, all within the studies function. If you need anything in depth or have questions about that, please reach out and we'll make sure we get back in touch with you to talk about this. The last thing I wanted to show you on here, actually I have a couple more things, is our events tab. So you can turn on our events right here, and this is FreightWaves News. Let me bring up something a little bit more like otvi.usa. And my events are turned on for FreightWaves News. You can also do US holidays as well. And this will show all of the articles on the day that they're published that said in the article this specific index. So outbound tender volume index was referenced in these articles on this specific day. So it's really valuable information if you see maybe a big spike or a big drop off in a specific market or data set that you're looking at. And we wrote about it. You can definitely read that on here. We also have the crosshair that you can click on to view the specific date and the specific value. We have our info button that does this very same thing. It's a little bit easier in my opinion. And we also have the draw tool. If you click on the pencil, you can click on the left-hand side that says select tool, and you can see all of the different tools that we do have. We have callouts, channels, trend lines, all underneath the tool function. And you can see how big or small a spike is. So if you wanted to go from here to here, so over the last 17 days, you could do trend lines for that as well. Down in the bottom right-hand corner are all of our time series, so you can view the data set in the last month, 3 months, 6 months. We have year-to-date, 1 year, 5 year, or all of the data. Some have more than others. We also have the custom date range that you can put in here as well. After the chart, we have 6 different watch lists right here. We have the standard watch list, heat map list, tree map, scrolling ticker, market table, and gauge chart. I'm going to click on the watch list right here. And you build them all very similar by using the manage symbols function. When you click on manage symbols, it will come up with all of those categories that we just looked at in the chart. They have them broken out the exact same way in the watch list. You can do the drop-down function and select what you're looking for just like you can on the chart. You can also search by typing in a specific data set, or you can look at existing lists. Existing lists are some things that we've created for you so you don't have to go in and create them. Majority of these here are outbound tender rejection lanes for all of our markets that you can view. For example, if you wanted to view outbound tender rejection lanes out of Los Angeles, you can do that. Click use symbol, click submit, and click done. All of this will be added into the gray box. Start with the standard watch list and click save. And this is a list view of what data set that you're looking for. You have your value here, your percent, and your percent change here for each one of these. You can also filter high to low. You can also click on more information for this specific data set as well by clicking on the 3 dots. And you can also filter by a specific amount value or percent change or change, the actual change. So you could do any value greater than 3%, 5%, 10%, whatever it is. You can click on the filter, greater than, and enter whatever the value and click save, and it will filter it down to those specific lanes that fit that criteria. You can go back up to this edit sign right here, and I am going to go down to the heat map list, which is very similar to the standard watch list, except it is color coded. So red means it's gone down, and green means it has gone up. We don't have any green here, but we do have these muted colors, and that means that there's been no change. What you're looking at right now, the value is what happened yesterday in the market, and the percent change is day over day. You can go back up to the filter and do the exact same thing on the heat map list as you can the standard watch list. I'm going to go back to the edit pencil and go to tree map and click save. And the tree map is my favorite personally. The top left-hand corner is the largest value, all the way down to the bottom right at the smallest value. The bottom number is what that value is yesterday. So yesterday in the market, Los Angeles to Harrisburg was a 3% rejection rate, but day over day, it has decreased 15%. So 15% less day over day has been rejected. You can change this percent time period and look at it weekly. So you can see these green markets have actually increased their rejection rate. So the rejection rates have gone up in those specific lanes. You can also click on any of these to spawn a chart. So you can see the Los Angeles to Miami rejections have gone up since the beginning of the month, even though we're only at still 2%. I'm going to go back to the edit pencil, and I'm going to show you guys the scrolling ticker and click save. It shows the same thing. It shows the value and the percent change week or day over day, and you can also change this to week over week. You can also filter this the same way as you could up the heat map list and the watch list or standard watch list. I'm going to go back to edit and show you the gauge chart first. Click save. So what this is the 52-week low to the 52-week high, and the number in the middle is the current value. So Los Angeles to Bloomington is at a 2% rejection rate, but the 52-week low is at 1.76%, but the 52-week high is almost a 15%. I really like looking at the gauge chart as well. The higher it gets to the 52-week high, the gauge chart turns green. I'm going to go back to the edit function, and I am going to do a quick market table for you guys. I'm going to I'm going to go actually back into the blue plus sign and click on market table, manage symbols, and I'm going to click browse. So up in the top are all the categories, and the bottom are all of the granularities. I am going to click on, let's see. So if you want to view market volume insights, outbound tender volume, and you want to look at all X markets, and you also want to look at outbound tender rejection index for all X markets, you can add all of those selected items, click done, and you can name it whatever you wish, market table, volumes, rejections, anything like that. Click market table and click save. And this will show you all of our tender rejections and tender volume for all 135 markets in this market table. The bottom is the value yesterday, and the top is the percent change day over day. You can also change that to weekly, bi-weekly on here as well. And you can also click on them and spawn a chart. So Allentown, Pennsylvania has a 6% rejection rate, but has increased 15% week over week. This is a great way to see movement in a market at a quick glance. When you see these bright greens and bright reds, that shows the percent change is very strong one way or another. So that is the watch list. I'm going to go back up to the blue plus sign and click on our video library. This is a great way that you can just get more information about Sonar as well as all of our events. We have our FreightWaves Now on here. We have instructional videos, and we also have videos from our past events. If you have not signed up for FreightWaves Live in Chicago, you can view some of these videos, and this will kind of get you to see what it's like at one of our events. It's a really great time if you guys haven't been. So you can watch some of these videos in the video library portion of Sonar. The last thing I'm going to go over is the most volatile markets. This is very similar to the map view that I went over earlier. So this shows you volatility within a specific market. So you can see all of our markets are currently checked. You can click around and not click on some of them if you wish. You can click on, only the Southeast markets, or click on only the markets that matter to you. And I'm going to click right here on show markets that only have volatility, but you can also leave it open to view all markets. I'm going to click save. On the left-hand side are all of the markets that have some sort of volatility in at least one of four of the indices that we have in the volatility widget, which is outbound volume, outbound rejection, head haul, and tender lead time. These are the only four indices that you can currently view the volatility market in, but it does show a good part of what you're looking at. You're looking at volumes and you're looking at rejections. You're looking at capacity, the difference between out and in volumes, which is head haul, and then the tender lead time as well. So the bottom number on all of these are the same. It is the value as yesterday. So the outbound volume number as of yesterday, the outbound rejection number as of yesterday, and the top number is the week over week change. So when you're looking at that top number, that's, like I said, the week over week change for that specific indice for that specific market. The only time you will see colors pop up on here is when you have volatility in the market. So a strong increase in the market is obviously on the higher threshold of volatility for that index in that specific market. The strong decrease is on the opposite. So it's a strong threshold, but negative wise in that specific market and that specific index. This is on a rolling 365 days. So this shows, like I said, the high highs and the low lows. So you can see we have a couple of these that have high increases. So you can see Miami is only at a 67 outbound volume index, but it's had an increase week over week of 20%. If you click on that, you can see that spike in outbound volume surge right before the hurricane. You can also look at it in the opposite way. We have some decrease head haul. Let's see if I can. You can also filter these any way that you wish. For example, you can look at, let's see, rejections here. Where are we at? You can click on any one of these and it will show anything out of its normal, basically. So it's only at a 4% rejection rate for Lakeland, but you can see how much that is increased, and it's pretty high compared to its normalcy, except for these couple right here that obviously would show a strong volatility as well. So you can spawn a chart by clicking on any of those little grids right there. And I believe that is pretty much all for today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A, and I will be happy to answer them. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions for today. We'll stay on for another couple minutes in case something pops up. But like I said, if you guys would like a deeper dive into understanding all of Sonar's data sets, we have a Sonar 201 tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern Time, and Sonar 301 at 11 a.m. on Thursday. And that will be with our market expert, Donnie Gilbert. He is our brokerage market expert, and he's going over in-depth data sets that you can use in your everyday operations. If you don't want to do another webinar and you want to set up a one-on-one session with one of our customer success managers, please email sonarsupport@freightwaves.com and we'll make sure we make that happen for you guys. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.